Hi all, it's Adi here. Join me as I explore Ightham Mote, which is near Sevenoaks in Kent. I'm going to be doing voiceovers on any of these videos where I'm in a public place and people are enjoying the day out, and I really don't want to be inconsiderate and to be chatting away at the top of my voice into a microphone. I mean, sometimes if there's people not around, then I will use the microphone, but if not, I will be doing this voiceover afterwards. Ightham Mote is set in a really tranquil and beautiful magical location. It has a 700-year history and it's said to be haunted. It also has links with the Gunpowder Plot, which I'll go into a bit more in a minute. It was built around 1320 and it's the most complete medieval moated manor house in England. It has a fascinating history and a miraculous tale of survival against the odds. If you have plenty of time, you can take a wander through the entire gardens and discover the water sources and the features that feed the moats. Over to the right hand side of the moat in the garden are some silhouettes of people playing bowls. Back in the 1880s, John Singer Sargent did an oil sketch of Elsie Palmer and the game of bowls, which is a very famous painting. And just over to the right here, over the hedge, you can see the silhouette. So that is relevant to John Singer Sargent's oil painting, The Game of Bowls. As we walk into this beautiful courtyard, you'll see on the left hand side there is England's only one Grade 1 listed dog kennel. That must have been a big dog back in the day. On the right hand side of this room, when we walk in, check out the painting of a lady who looks like Queen Elizabeth I. Her name was Dame Dorothy Selby, and I will tell you about her role in the Gunpowder Plot. Ightham Mote was not damaged by Cromwell's men in spite of the fact they had tried very hard to find it and root out what was said to be a hotbed of royalists. The moat was owned by the Selby family at the time, who were notorious Catholics from the time of Elizabeth I to Queen Victoria. And as was normal in such households, it had its own priest hole, an escape route behind a chimney, and a secret chapel which is protected by no less than 5 locks. The story of the haunting of Ightham Mote goes back to the days of the Gunpowder Plot in November 1605, when Dame Dorothy Selby, that's the lady that looks like Elizabeth I in the painting over the fireplace there, she sent a letter to her cousin Lord Mounteagle, warned him of the plot and had told him to stay away from Parliament. Unfortunately, the letter fell into the hands of the king and the conspirators were brought to justice. Now, the story goes that their friends of the conspirators were really angry, realised that Dame Dorothy had sent the letter, proceeded to Ightham Mote, seized her and walled her up in a small room, no larger than a cupboard in the tower. In 1872, workmen are said to have found the skeleton of Dame Dorothy sealed up inside the walls. However, it's not a true story, because Dame Dorothy is actually buried at the local church in Ightham.
It won't often see witches and marks because it means
it
has to come off.
Yeah, not places like this, you don't.
No, Victorian. Yeah, Victorian room. Housekeeper's room. She worked with the butler in the butler's pantry. The kitchen's rows at the back. You can't see those unless it's Christmas, because we closed some of the rooms upstairs at Christmas and we changed the fire escape. At the moment they catch. That's why you can't open that.
You can barely make them out, can you?
No.
The last owner of the property was an American called Henry Robinson, who had cycled past it many years previously. It's a very interesting story as to how he ended up owning the property due to a letter not being sent. It's too long for me to go into now, the video isn't quite long enough, but on his death it was given to the National Trust in 1985. Ightham has 2 chapels. This is the old chapel, and this was separate to where the family used to listen to the priest give his sermon. Apparently that was quite common in those days. In 1521, Richard Clement, who was a former page of Henry VII, he wanted to show his allegiance to Henry VIII to gain more power and influence. So what he did is he added the stained glass emblems of the King and Queen to the chapel. He also had the pomegranate and Tudor rose, which was the symbol of Catherine of Aragon, and the sign of her mother, Isabella of Castile, and the arrows depicting the emergence of Aragon, Catherine's father, and Castile to create Spain. Ightham's a lovely hidden gem in the Kent countryside. There's a lovely village just down the road where we stopped and had some lunch. If you are in the area, do visit, and if you have anything spooky or creepy experienced there, do let me know. Bye for now.